Hello. The whole intro, I was muted. Would you believe that? It happens. It happens. All I was saying is welcome back. My whole setup is unergoed. Oh, I've double tapped the mute again, and now we're back. Now we're back. Okay. Look at this. Can we talk about this? A 5 rate of fire and good other stats right off the get-go here? Like, we're at absurd levels. You never get the tier cap right away. And to get the tier cap right away, and also have a good spacebar item, and to get the tier cap and a good spacebar item and also have good damage, and to get the tier cap, a good spacebar item, good damage, also have decent speed? Like, what is wrong with you? We're balling out of control. This run looks pretty solid, and you know what? I'll take it. We've had some easy ones lately, but we've also had some ones that were a little bit, I don't want to say too difficult, because we did win, but some runs that really tested us a little bit. Even if they didn't test us with, like, one specific scenario that ended up being super difficult, but we, you know, overcame. It was more of like a slow burn, you know? It was less of like a, you know, get shocked immediately, like that one moment in Hereditary, and more like the rest of Hereditary, which was just a slow burn. We will now be conceptualizing every Isaac run in terms of the mood and tone and motifs of Ari Aster horror movies. Boy, I sure hope this one doesn't end up like an Atetstrupa. That was the best I could do from memory. I apologize. I don't mind using a hermit card on this floor, but it probably behooves us, much in the way that it behooved Danny to break up with her boyfriend Christian prior to the events of the film Midsommar. That's not a spoiler, we're talking a hypothetical universe here. Plus, you should just see it. It's available. It's on Amazon Prime Video. I think we're better off moving down to the next floor. We maybe have an arcade, use the hermit card with the arcade to get enough money to buy something very good. It's a tough choice here, because there's definitely a case to be made for playing the Demon Judgment. I think we start here and hope to get... Step 1 is get enough money for the shop to maybe be worthwhile. We didn't get that, but hold on. We want the straw, but we can work with this. Alright, so the Humbling Bundle is incredible. That turned out pretty well. Oh my god, that turned out even better. Okay, now we maybe have enough money for the Judgment. And we're going to take the straw in the future, but for this floor, this is very useful for us. We might get enough money. I would even go a step further and say we will get enough money, because every red heart is going to give us a Humbling Bundle payout. It won't be a nickel every time. That was just a, you know, a dream come true. Look, it takes a lot for me to maybe not spend a bomb to pick up an item. I'm not sure Angry Fly is worth a... It's probably worth a bomb. Let's not, you know... It's not good, but I think it's worth more than one bomb. I mean, what's the average bomb payout for me? In all likelihood, it's just me accidentally using it in the wrong spot and getting nothing out of it. I'd say that's close to the top right now. We'll take this. Alright, I mean, this could be the kind of floor that really sets us in motion. Much like the unseen events of the start of the 2018 film Hereditary that really serve as kind of like a shadow over the rest of the run, if you know what I mean. Okay, you can't do it that way. Tried to get a little precious, but you can't do it that way. Don't make things too risky here. You got everything locked in, dialed in. Money's out of control. I don't know why it sounds like an Iggy Azalea lyric. Locked in, dialed in, money's out of control. Because my wife is in the other room, I'm not going to embarrass myself by doing an Iggy Azalea impression. Otherwise, you would be, I promise you, in tears, laughing. I mean, you might be LMAOing. I'm just going to say it. Or even doing a little Rafflecopter. I can't guarantee it necessarily because, you know, the verbal agreements are binding in some states. But I think there's at least a decent chance that you perhaps would have fallen out of your chair raffling. We will take it. And you know what? I think we have the HP to make this a worthwhile situation for us. So we got a whole... It's a Maslow's hierarchy of needs flowchart sort of situation of where we're going with this one. I think your first steps would look a little bit like this. I'm not willing to go deeper on this one, but you know what? I am willing to lose half of a spirit heart to take this one to Funky Town. And then if we come in here, just keep this moving. I believe you're gonna pay out. It's gotta be on this one though. Oh baby, okay. Now we take the straw back. And it's actually tough. Because I think that it's definitely possible that IV bag could give us more yield than the straw. But the straw is kind of like idiot proof. You know, it's not like a plastic straw that gets stuck in a turtle nostril. Makes you feel bad. What's a turtle nostril? Oh, you don't watch a lot of mafia movies, huh? La turtle nostra. It's the nostril of a turtle. That's the joke. It's more like a life straw where you could drink anything through it and it'll just turn it into water. I'm not saying the water's gonna taste great, but it's okay. And I think we're just out of here. We got enough bombs to fish for a second secret room. We're hoping for maybe like, sure. I was gonna say an eternal heart, but honestly, hold on. Blow you up. Blow you up. Oh my god, the money, dude. We're not gonna IV bag this. It's a little much for me. We want. I don't care how much money we spend because we got Humbling Bundle so early. It's probably not gonna matter. If you could just give me cards are fine, sure. I mean, not that one, obviously. But if you could give me crystal ball would be amazing. A good trinket would be amazing. Anything to like, even just a sign that you know this is worth our time. Sure, that's a good one. You've given me a good one. And you gave me another good one, actually. I think we'll leave with 15 cents. Chariot interests me, but I think the world card's a little bit more interesting. And then the money that we're going to get out of these rocks is just... We're basically just waiting for a shop with a reroll machine, and then we're good to go. If we get a shop with a reroll machine... We already are in an unbelievably great position. But if we get a shop with a reroll machine, that's going to get cranked to 12. Not even to 11, to 12. Remember, we are merely two, now one guppy items away from, you know, becoming guppy here. So, getting 9 lives helps out a great deal. I guess I didn't kill you. That's my bad. This is for sure, and there's our reroll machine, by the way. This is for sure one of the strongest starts to an Isaac run I've ever seen. Whether or not it will continue to be strong, I mean, I got no reason to doubt it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's probably going to get worse. You know, it's starting in such a position, like we got too much momentum. It's unfair. And I'm here for it. How am I doing? Thank you for asking. It's a Friday. I like a Friday. I think I mentioned... Can't remember if it was yesterday's video or a couple videos ago, but I believe I mentioned... my Fridays are nice, you know? They're usually busy work days. Busier now that Malf and I record a lot of baseball on those days, but at the same time, you know, you're playing video games with your friends. I think we'd still... It's tight, but we'll take the straw. So, you know, I'm not the kind of guy who's gonna lose sight of that. I mean, I take pride in that, you know? I do feel like... occasionally, everybody gets worn down by the realities of their job. This is gonna... if you've watched Isaac for a long time, there's a few archetypes to episodes. For a while, it was like grocery episodes. We still have some grocery episodes, but, you know, with the quarantine stuff, even though it's kind of winding down, still really only getting groceries like once a week. Maybe making a trip, like, for a couple things we missed midweek, but... You know, not making a habit of going too often just yet. And then, you know, when I used to travel a little bit more for quote-unquote work, you know, there were airplane episodes and yada, yada, yada. It's like the NLSS, you know? Anytime we golf, it's going to be a food episode. This is going to be one of the ones where it's like, I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm a cool YouTuber. But I really, like, I honestly am happy with myself that, you know, I have not maintained the same fire. I don't think we can break the tier cap here. So I think we are going to leave, even though we could go to the shop. Because we can also go to the next shop, and 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 you get the idea. We could even go to the candy shop and let you lick the lollipop. I have not maintained the exact same, you know, vindaloo in my stomach that I had when I left teaching in Korea. Because I was like, I don't want to say I was in a bad spot, but I was in certainly an occupational malaise. But I have definitely never, for more than a period of like 12 to 36 hours, fallen victim to the YouTuber curse of like starting to resent playing video games and shooting the breeze over top of it. I think it's natural to fall into it now and then. But, definitely I see some YouTubers who, like, you know, they just... I don't want to say that they resent their audiences, but they focus so much on the negative parts of the job because the... And again, I think it's a human nature thing, but the positive parts of the job fade away. They just become what normal life is like, you know? It's like how... I'm sure if you're, like, a billionaire... Let me put it this way. If you or I became a billionaire for a day, I'm sure that day would be like 10 amusement parks happening simultaneously, you know, because you're getting all the perks of it at once, right? You could be like, check it out. You want to take a ride in our private jet? Sure, where do you want to go? Australia. You get halfway to Australia. Pilot, excuse me, can you land in the Cayman Islands real quick? Now I'm realizing the Cayman Islands are in the Atlantic Ocean, but anyway, just work with me here. I want to check. I want to make a withdrawal from one of my 3,000 bank accounts. You know, you would lose your mind. You would be having a great day. I'm sure, like, yeah, after a while, it just sort of. I don't want to say that your quality of life regresses to the mean, but I think that to some extent that's probably fair, right? Like, there's got to be days where, and I'm not saying I necessarily have sympathy for billionaires. Let's not go that far. But there's got to be days where, like, Jeff Bezos wakes up with, like, a stomachache and is like, man, today sucks. Meanwhile, anyone else, if you ask them right now, would be like, yeah, you could give me a stomachache every day if you gave me $1 billion, because I might have a stomachache, but I can have a stomachache now and I don't have $1 billion to go along with it. But then, meanwhile, you know, if you're Jeff Bezos, you got a stomachache, you might be like, you know what? If I could pay $10 million for this stomachache to go away, I would. So I understand, you know, the positive parts of, you know, a change in your lifestyle tend to fade away. In time, they tend to become muted because of the fact that, you know, you live it every day. So you just take it for granted that the good stuff is good. Instead, you're just like, the good stuff's normal. I'm happy I've never gotten to that point for, not a good time to use that, but I'm happy I've never gotten to that point for an extended period of time. Okay, I hate this, but old bandage, I can live with that. And we'll go hard on this. I don't see a good reason not to. Well, there's one good reason not to. Like, we don't know what the items are, but with 9 lives, this shouldn't be bad, and that's actually extremely good. And we'll go. Not going to the curse room is kind of a big whiff here. I think we played a little lazy on that floor, but I'm willing to accept myself on that one. Anyway, it's Friday, so the whole genesis of this was just, you know, I'm not sweating the fact that I'm going to be recording a lot of videos today. Like, basically my life right now is like videos. After I finish the videos, maybe, like, you know, get dinner sorted, maybe do like a chore. Do a chore, and then watch as many episodes of the German Netflix television program Dark as I can before bed. It's a simple life, it's a humble life, and I'm with it right now. I like a TV show that as of right now only has 19 episodes. No matter how into it you get, I'm not gonna watch them again. I don't watch good TV 2 times. I know it's not a matter of principle. It's not like I wrote that, like I got it tattooed on my back or anything like that. It's just, you know, it's never happened to me that I've been like, oh, this show's so good, I'm gonna watch it again. The only shows I would, and have ever watched 2 times over are like comedy shows where you don't actually have to pay attention to them, if that makes sense. Like, you know, the classic example is Seinfeld. If I'm watching TV and I got nothing else to do and Seinfeld's on, which, spoilers, it always is, at least in North America, then I just turn on Seinfeld. And I, you know, oh, this, I don't go, oh, season 6, episode 3, this is a good one. This is 2 episodes after they started building the ark that, you know, George is building a dirty bomb in his basement. You know, it's not like that. It's like every episode takes place more or less in a vacuum, you know, where you don't have to be following it. But I don't know if I would ever watch Breaking Bad all the way through again. It's not like it's too much. It's just like, you know, I've been there and I've done that. The Breaking Bad portion of my life was a lot of fun, but now it's also, now we're in the Better Call Saul arc. And I gotta know what's going on with Gene at that Cinnabon, dude. What the heck are you doing? Alright, drop me in here. I feel like this is the world we live in now, for the time being, in the bizarro year of 2020. I feel guilty because I'm about to be like, you know, on Saturday, we have a dentist appointment. And I know I'm going to take some flack. Maybe not a lot of flack, but like, I'm going to take a little flack for going to the dentist. I hadn't even thought about it until now. But yeah, you know, dental offices have reopened here. We're just kind of, I mean, I say we're as if I have control of the public policy. The province is playing it by ear, cases are low, and then, you know, if they come back up again, we'll kiss the whole summer goodbye, which is, you know, honestly a small price to pay to not have the, you know, humanity devolve into, you know, constant martial law, I suppose. But, yeah, it's like, it's weird. I feel like British Columbia is like on occupational probation. If you're not familiar with, maybe you're watching this and you're like English is not your first language, or maybe you never thought about it. What is the concept of probation? Probation means like, you know, you can live your life. So usually this happens like if you commit a relatively minor crime, you might get probation, which is like, you know, you can go back, you can get a job, you can leave your house, but maybe there's some conditions, you know, like you can't leave your state or your province, and before you leave, you gotta check in with like a government official to let them know, and you're not allowed to like, you know, drink or something like that. You're not allowed to get, you know, you're not allowed to converse with the people who previously, you know, were your criminal associates or whatever. I feel like that's what society is like up here right now, is like everything's kind of almost normal. You know what? For 7 cents, why wouldn't you, right? But at the drop of a hat, we could be back in the joint. At any moment, we might turn on the news and it'll be like 6 more weeks of winter. You know what I mean? Okay, let's get our item room quickly here. But yeah, it's so it's a little unusual. It's something that I think, you know, I don't mind speaking about it honestly, because I think we're all kind of going through this for the first time. Not you, Granny. I know you were an 8-year-old in 1918 when this originally happened. I appreciate you watching this. The 110-year-old demographic really does well for advertisers, so you're helping out my my income a great deal by watching. I appreciate it. Look. We may have like 2 80-year-olds watching today. Hello? And God bless. We probably do not have a 110-year-old. I'm just gonna... I know people, I think they tend to overestimate. Like there's a, you know... maybe 35,000 people will watch this. That's a lot of people. Is 1 in 35,000 people... Does 1 in 35,000 people live to be 110 years old? The answer might actually be no. I don't really care about Bookworm that much. I'd rather just stay as frosty as possible here. Proptosis is really good, but You know, that's something I might actually... What percentage... Hold on, I gotta unlock. What percentage of people live to be 110? 2 in 100,000 women. So roughly like a 1 in 50,000 chance for women. And, I mean, fellas, I hate to say it, that really does a number on our odds. If you're at the age, maybe, where you've considered purchasing some life insurance and maybe, you know, you've looked at the difference in rates between men and women, it's sobering. Let's put it that way. Basically, the way that I look at it is, and if you, oh my, stop. If you look at, like, the actuarial charts, because that's what determines, you know, how much you're going to pay in premiums, along with, you know, how much the CEO would like to make this year. Basically, like, until the age of around, like, 30, 40, men and women... Roughly, the women pay a little bit less for life insurance, which I actually think is... I mean, here's the thing. It might ruffle some feathers. I was gonna say I think it's completely fair, but I even want to be, like, less controversial. It's like, to some extent, it's just based on the data. Like, to a large extent, it's based on the data. Yeah, they're not non-profit insurance, you know. They're making money off of it. But at the same time, you know, they're charging women less than men because women are dying less often. So, you know, I'm not gonna get too bent out of shape about it. Also, when I think back to any, like, dumb and dangerous stuff I've done in my life, I'm not saying, you know, girls and women can't get involved in it, but mostly it was me in a group of my male peers who were roughly around the same age egging each other on and being like, what's the worst that could happen? You know, so I completely understand. Not only, that's Cuba meat, let's try the other one. I completely understand how it happens, but the real... nasty part is once you get into those, like, 40, 50s, and you're like, they have a different chart for smokers and non-smokers, and, like, male non-smokers pay basically what female smokers play. So I'm here to tell you, well, I don't know where I'm gonna go with this because it could be taken out of context, but men, you know, if you don't smoke, I think it's a great idea. Kudos to you. I mean, I'm in the same boat. You are, on average, as healthy as the average chain-smoking woman. There you go. Maybe healthy is a different maybe term, but your expected lifespan, or rather, to be as specific as possible, your risk of death. You know, within the 50 to 80 age bracket on any given year. So, you know. It's not that comforting, I suppose. On the other hand, you could make it comforting in kind of a macabre, funny way. Hey, female smokers that are watching this, don't sweat it too much. You're merely doing the same kind of damage to your body that apparently the average man has done to their body. Joggers, triathletes, etc., etc. I don't even know how I got onto this subject. Insurance. This is where I now go to that Chris Rock joke that I still don't understand. Let me get this straight. Insurance is when you give the money in case S happens. If S happens, shouldn't you get your money back? I still just don't understand the point of the punchline. It would be nice, don't get me wrong, you paid for life insurance. I'm not being a stan for the insurance companies, I just don't understand Chris Rock's point on this individual matter. I guess his understanding of the insurance business is that, you know, if you pay premiums for $7 a month for life insurance starting in your late teens, they're going to invest that into the market, and then use the yields for profit and then pay. Like, his knowledge of insurance for this joke is basically just like what a bank account is. Why don't you just put $20 a month into your bank account instead of getting life insurance, and then if stuff doesn't happen, you get your money back? Really, if stuff does happen, you get it too. So so anyway. I just that joke doesn't make any sense. I know though. I probably made some people get a little defensive when I said it reminds me of my favorite Chris Rock joke. I'm not gonna. See, it's another show you can watch when you. Oh, let's see if there's guppy items in here. It's another show you can watch when you don't need to necessarily follow along 100%. Is The Office, where Michael Scott does tell a Chris Rock joke in episode 2, I believe. Season 1, episode 2. Anyway. What was I talking about? I don't know. Life insurance, apparently. That's what I was talking about. Yo, are these guys going in to get groomed today? They're going in today? What? Oh, you got him? Yeah. Really? So I'll give some context for the viewers. About 20, well, probably about 40 minutes ago, Kate was like, I want to get the cats shaved again, which makes a lot of sense, because I'll tell you. How often do you vacuum, Kate? Just tell him.
2 to 3 times a day.
2 to 3 times a day. And then you have the audacity to be in my Twitch chat and go, what's that white noise? Is there a gas leak? It's just they're shedding like crazy. So it's totally understandable. But I figured, yeah, that wouldn't happen for a little while. She made it happen today.
Well,
a woman of action. How do you feel about that, Ruka? Probably not so. Yeah, not. You thought you were getting one over on us by passively shedding everywhere. Now you got to go to the groomer. How do you feel about that? Look, I'm not trying to be rude to my cat, but he did wake me up at 4 a.m. Pawing a bunch of stuff off of a bookshelf so he could sleep on that shelf when there was a completely open shelf right next to it. So, you know, you live with it. You learn to live with it, and you know, you take the victories. You take the small victories where you can get them. Oh, but immediately upon saying that, my nose has become itchy. With the telltale feeling of cat fur. Oh my. Hey! Anyway, I'm actually, I wouldn't say I'm nervous about where this run is going. Not getting Guppy was a big damper on things. We have 9 lives and we're starting with 3 HP and we're about 2 seconds away from getting 4 new items. Our luck stat is okay. But it is like, it's just slightly more touchy than it needs to be. This is helpful. I don't know, what does Civic to say? Sissy. I got sissy, haha. Something like that. Is that? I don't know the sissy meme. This is not meant as a knock on Sinvicta at all. I don't watch anybody else's Isaac content because I've already played enough of this game for one lifetime. I don't need a little bit more Isaac, you know, in my life. I've got the exact appropriate amount of Isaac in my life for now until the DLC comes out. Now you might be playing and watching simultaneously and be like, wow, NL, that, you know, I put Isaac up on my other monitor while I play Isaac. Yeah, I might do that too. If I wasn't recording every episode, it would be kind of disorienting. You know, if you heard me and also Sinvicta talking simultaneously about Isaac, you'd be like, what the heck's going on here? Might make the sissy joke work better, though. For all I know. Yo, that was actually one of the very few times I feel like that curse actually did great stuff for us. We skipped a room. Usually we end up doing the rooms 20 times more. It's gonna be one of those episodes where, like, this is gonna be like a 5 GB Isaac episode. Thanks to the cricket's body. That's okay, we got fiber, it uploads pretty quick. There you go, that's the curse I'm used to. Show me the real curse. Nope. Nope. So we're just hitting dead end after dead end. But it's, you know, I have no complaints whatsoever. You know, we're on a run here where, you know, we're going to hit 38 runs in a row. It's very exciting. It's going to take us, you know, we're still like 3 weeks away, if we get there, from equaling our previous streak. So it's a long way to go. It's not like, you know, oh, the hard part's over. You never know. Like, this might be the start of the hard part, or maybe the hard part of getting there is over. You know, maybe we've only got, you know, Mom's Knife and Brimstone runs 9 out of 10 times for the future. That's the beauty of like an Eden run. You never know where you're going. It's the beauty of Isaac in general, you know. You don't know what the seed's going to give you, but I'll take it. I'm content there. Contented? Content? I don't know. Yo, let's go. I know, like, Eden's Blessing, if we're going to talk Isaac strats, let's get into the nitty-gritty, right? I believe Sinvicta does not like Eden's Blessing because you could start with a bad... Like, and I understand his point completely, and I actually think that the more time goes on, the more inclined I am to agree. It gives you a chance to... Picking up an item that's out of your control is almost always good, but when it's bad, it's horrible. And when it's good, it could be a little good, which doesn't really change your fortunes at all in the vast majority of situations. It could be very good, but even a very good item doesn't really... Like, on an average run, one very good item is all... the only one that has influence, if that makes sense. It may not. Like, you don't need Brimstone Polyphemus. If you have Polyphemus, you don't need Brimstone. If you have Brimstone, you don't need Polyphemus, although it's obviously nice and in some niche situations might make a difference. However, the flip side of that is getting a bad item, while the risk is disproportionately low compared to getting an inert or decent item. Oftentimes, there's a couple items in the game that are just straight up run destroyers. You know, they put you on notice. You gotta... You don't necessarily always ignore them, but you want to be aware of where you're at when you pick them up. Because, you know, if you get soy milk, it could be the best item in the game, or it could destroy you. So I understand the reasoning. But on the other hand, haha, item counter go burr is really the way that I play this game. So again, we should be completely fine. And if things get tough on this, which I don't necessarily believe they will, but if things get tough on this, I honestly believe that our play is to stop shooting and just use straw and bombs. Because the only difficult part of this right now is trying to determine what shots are mine and what shots are Blue Baby's when you only got 2 seconds to think about it. For now, though, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps the radio. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. I do appreciate especially clicking the like button. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!